Hey, Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, aka man of the people, because I enjoy working for you all that are supporters and fans of the Carolina Panthers. So, new view today. Hopefully the sun doesn't come out too bright. I think it's coming out as I speak. Hopefully the video, there's this lighting thing. If it gets pretty bright back there, I'm going to get a little dark, but you guys will bear with me. And we'll walk you through this. I think they call it Back Together down here at Spartanburg. And up until this moment, I say this moment because the sun seems like it's coming out more and more. It's been, thankfully, a break from the heat. It was partly cloudy the entire day, had a little slight breeze, which we haven't had all week. So in terms of the weather, it felt good most of today. So we're going to walk you through practice. I've been getting some feedback, and I continue to ask you all, what do you want to hear from me? I'm working for you, so it's about what you want to know about this Carolina Panthers team. And it seems to be that you want to continue to have the play-by-play. So if that's what it is, I'll continue to do that, and I'll continue to expand upon that if that is what you will continue to enjoy. So we're going to get into it. Got a few things that I want to go over before we go to the breakdown of it, of what happened today at practice. One is some transactions. And I see some people signing on, say, hey, what's up? Appreciate you signing in, checking us out. Let's see here. Getting my notes all moved around on the screen. All right, so we had a player release yesterday, running back Tyon Evans. That looks like what I have written down right here. And then we signed a quarterback. I don't know what for. I say that and a little bit of fun in that Matt Corral was given, if you will, more opportunity to be quarterback by those guys not carrying but 3 quarterbacks up until now. Matt Corral has barely had any snaps during practice, and now you add a 4th one, which seems like you take away that ability by Matt Corral. But it could be just they want him for another camp body so that he can run some other drills with defensive backs and other people, and Matt still has the potential to get some more reps, which he hasn't had a chance to get many of yet. But that new quarterback, I didn't say his name, I'm sorry, we signed Jake Luton, a former 6th-round pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He is out of Oregon State. So he is our new quarterback in terms of on the team as of right now, bringing our total to 4 quarterbacks. Moving on, the NFL Top 100. That started earlier this week. It is now down to, I think the top 50 are out. And congratulations to our edge rusher, Brian Burns, who moved, man, I forget where he was last year, but he almost matched this number. He's he used to be 53. He's now 0, so forget that. But he is number 54 NFL Top 100 player, so congratulations to Brian Burns. I'm sure he might mention that, just a little asterisk in those contract negotiations that he's having. But I'm sure he's in good hands and really waiting for Nick Bosa to sign his contract, which will give a pretty good indication of what Brian could then ask for. And one other little tidbit here before we go ahead and get into some things. I love the feedback. I'm always going to ask for feedback. And when I go to explain something, I'm not like in my feelings about anything. I just want to always give perspective on things. And so there one comment about that was left in the last video that we have to do better. And it was in relations to midway through the video, we got cut out. All right. And the video stopped. So there's just, and I'm going to make this short, there's a lot that goes into having a live broadcast outside on location, and we've invested as much as we can, but we always try to give a product that looks like you're not just watching the guy in the camera, right? We try to give you broadcasts that look very high definition, good sound quality, like an ESPN, like what you expect when you're watching TV. But we do have limitations, which is why I ask for super chats and donations so we can continue to grow. We're an independent media, so there's no Bank of America, there's no law firm writing us $100,000 checks to do this. So in order for us to do a broadcast and you guys not have to worry about anything happening at all, we need a crew of about additional 3 people, and we don't need a few thousand, we need tens of thousands of dollars to do that. So let me show you just what we're up against when we do these broadcasts, just to give some reference. Then we're going to go into covering the football. All right, so here is a picture that I got for you. This is the NFL Network setup that was out here earlier today. As you see, Steve Smith is going to be sitting at an empty chair. But there is a ton of equipment and people and wires and shade things going on so that they can have, and he has earpieces, computers going, video monitors. Okay, but that's their setup, all right? And then let's go to this. Now it's currently covered with a tent, but this is Carolina Sports, I believe is what they're called now, local channel in Charlotte. This is their tent that's covered right now, but inside of there, again, there's normally a crew of at least 5 to 6 people in there. Tens of thousands of dollars worth of lights, wires, equipment, yada, 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 yada. And then here's your boy's setup right here. This is me, all right? You see a laptop, a camera, and a light, and a bunch of little things laying on the floor. And you get this. So, again, I just like to give perspective on things. When I say help support independent media, that's what I mean is when we have the opportunity for super chats or you have a donation, whatever you can do to help us grow, it would help tremendously, because just as one person out here today doing what I do, it's a lot. I don't mind it at all. Don't mind. I love what I do. I love working for you guys. But anytime there's a hiccup, it just might happen because of that. All right, let's go ahead and get into practice. There's a video that's out there. Actually, I think I might have a little, let me give you a little teaser. I can show you guys a little action. Let's see. Give me just a second. See if I can give you a little teaser about some of the action today. Here we go.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So that was some of the action from today's practice. So I always make 2 videos. One video is just Carolina Panthers highlights from today, mostly focusing on Bryce Young. So if you haven't seen that, just click on the logo or something on YouTube where you see our channel and all of our videos, and you'll see that highlight video of Bryce Young. Got some Andy Dalton in there, got some Matt Corral and some other things. So lots of good video. Be sure to go ahead and check that out. And let me give some shout outs here. We got some people watching. We got 8 likes. You know, give us likes, help us continue to grow. Let me give a few shout outs, and I'm going to come back to these comments. Marco Cash, what's going on? Shakib Bartal in here, what's going on? D1, I see you, appreciate you tuning in. So let's go ahead and break down practice today. So we have Bryce. So first, this is going to be a team period that they did here. And so they had Bryce Young started out first. He was in a shotgun, had a pass. I did not get a chance to write it down. But actually, I think, first pass was to Laviska Shenault, checking it down to him. Now, I know the last practice I talked about the defense seeming like they had some breakdowns. Today, the defense seemed to play a lot better. And that there's many times where whether it was Corral, whether it was Bryce, whether it was Dalton, the new guy did not get any reps today. There were, in my opinion, many checkdowns from good defensive play today. So that's cool to see, right, from the defensive side. And also saw Dante Jackson as well as J.C. Horn getting reps out there in team drills, which is good to see, you know, because I know they're going to bring those guys back a little bit slowly, making sure that, number one, there's no reason to rush these guys because, you know, without either one of them, you have a significant change in your defensive ability. So next play, Bryce, handoff to Miles Sanders. Bryce in the shotgun to Adam Thielen. This play was kind of like a down and out in which they connected on. Bryce, another down and out type pass. That was this one was overthrown, and so therefore it was not a completion by Bryce. He was attempting to hit Jonathan Mingo on that pass. Bryce was in a shotgun, had an attempt to Ian as he released. So Ian just had a little release from that tight end position. Bryce caught him. And that was another completion. Continuing off in the shotgun, he was intercepted by Shaq Thompson. So this play where Bryce was intercepted by Shaq Thompson, it was a really good play by Shaq. You know, it was really good. He came, just seemed like he hit another gear from about the middle of the field, undercut the receiver, had to dive to get it, and made the interception. So unfortunate to see that interception by Bryce, but definitely good to see Shaq at this point in his career showing some good legs, jumping the route, cutting in front, and getting an interception for the defense. Next play was Bryce again in the shotgun, hand off to Chuba. Bryce again in the shotgun, trips right, had 2 left, so we had 5 wide about, and this was a handoff to Chuba Hubbard. Next play, shotgun, trips right, and hit Tommy Tremble with the completion. So tight ends in this offense, what we're seeing is they're not afraid to put them out wide so they can have 4 and even 5 wide on the offensive set. Next up was Andy Dalton. Hit a wide open Hayden Hurst on a short out. Dalton would hand off to Chuba Hubbard as he was going to his left. I mean, that play was, Chuba ran to the left on that play. Dalton with a miss out of the shotgun to Miles Sanders. That was short on the right hash. And then Dalton to Chuba, handoff on the right. Dalton in the shotgun hit our fullback Giovanni Ritchie as he crossed the field going from left to right. And then we had Dalton in the shotgun hitting Derek Wright on the same type of play going left to right crossing. So interested to see how this offense continues to evolve. You know, this is just their 3rd practice. They had OTAs and all that other stuff, but I'm sure they're still wanting to ramp these guys up much in the same way that they did during the OTAs, which is not trying to do too much to make sure the guys are retaining stuff, make sure guys know their assignments. They will be in pads on Monday. They're off tomorrow, Sunday. They'll be back out here on Monday, and they will be in pads, so that'll be something great to look for. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Hit the like button. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of training camp. That helps me so much to get these players and coaches on the show. Helps me so much more to be able to do what you guys and ladies like for me to do, so please consider doing that for me. And let's go to 7-on-7. Bryce was back there, quarterback. He had an incomplete pass to LaVisca. Looked like that was a bad pass according to my notes, a short out by LaVisca. Bryce again with a pass to Miles Sanders. That was complete. And then Bryce, short left pass to Terrace Marshall, about 20 yards down the field. Bryce drops back in traffic about 10 yards down the field. It was in the middle of the field, was broken up. I was not able to get the player that he was intending to throw that to on that play. And then Bryce came back. Again, lots of these things that I'm seeing today, they're still about 10 yards. Now, they did go 20, they did go 40, but very few times were they going that deep. But something that I saw from all the quarterbacks today, was good. It was good on the defensive part, but it's still good on the quarterback's part. They weren't forcing too many things, or they really didn't see anybody force anything. And they would check down the ball to a tight end or even a running back to continue to keep the play alive and not just get too crazy with it. Dalton came in, hit LaVisca about 15 yards down the field. Dalton with a check down. Nobody was open on this play, hitting Stephon Sullivan. It was good coverage. Dalton to his left hit Stephon Sullivan again, another short kind of pass. And then Dalton hit another receiver. Wasn't able to get this guy's number, so I can't report on who he was. But came across the field on the slant. Nice, as he nearly had like a toe tap on that. So he came completely from the left to the right. Dalton finally saw him, threw it, released it about when he was just midways past the hash. Caught it. Wasn't quite a toe tap, but it was still a pretty good catch and grab, staying in bounds by the wide receiver. Continuing on, Corral made an appearance finally. I heard another media member say, poor Corral, he gets to come in, throws 2 passes, and they basically say, go and sit back down. So I'm going to get more into what I saw from Corral today because there were more snaps that he was able to get. But Corral hit Giovanni Ritchie over the short, in the center, short pass. Corral then came back, hit C.J. Saunders short, as he did a good job of working well through his progressions. Mechanically watching Matt Corral just seems pretty cool in terms of his techniques, right? So I know why, I forget, I think it's Donald Duck that's in the chat, is a big fan and hopes that I think he says Las Vegas Raiders that he hopes the Corral signs with and gets traded to. Trading Corral, I feel like it's going to be hard right now because why would you want him in the sense of what have you seen him do? You know, you may say, hey, he's a decent guy, but if I was a GM, I'd just wait for him to get on waivers because there's nothing to be excited about in terms of, yeah, he was a decent, pretty good, he was a solid quarterback in college, right? When I think it was the third or fourth round, don't quote me on that, last year. Didn't get to play much, got hurt. So I don't feel like he has any trade value because of that part. But next, like I said, Corral got his 2 plays. Come on out. There's a daddy long legs crawling up my camera tripod, which is kind of pretty cool. He can't hurt me, so I don't have to get scared about it. But it's cool to see that happening. Let's see. So Bryce comes back in, hits Adam Thielen. Whoop. He tried to hit Adam Thielen, but he dropped it. Adam Thielen dropped it on the left side of the field. That was a drop by Adam Thielen from Bryce. Bryce then came back and hit Hayden Hurst. Short left pass about the hash, in which he hit Hayden. Bryce to number 82, Tommy Tremble. So, again, tight ends staying involved in this offense. No, I'm sorry. He attempted to throw to 82, Tommy Tremble, but there was some pretty good defense played and broken up on that coverage. Next, Bryce had to check it down to Chuba Hubbard down the left sideline. Andy Dalton then comes in, hits Terrace Marshall, who, as of my notes, has not caught anything deep yet. So 3 days of practice. Terrace Marshall's a guy that you feel like is good at going up, catching contested balls, not really having a chance to do that so far this training camp. So hopefully that'll be something that comes out, because Terrace Marshall, high draft pick, this is his 3rd year, so you get excited about the new guys, but you certainly want to get excited and hopefully get excited about Terrace Marshall being able to come in and be an impact on this team. And right now the sun is coming out. Hopefully you guys can still see me decently. I know my legs are starting to burn up, but we're going to keep on going. See, where are we? Next pass was Dalton on a deep route to Derek Wright. And then there was another attempt to Chuba, but that was not completed. All right, so next we went into team setup. And there's a lot here, so I'm going to continue to try to speed through these a little bit so you guys can get this all, have a pretty good idea of what took place at practice today as the sun comes out in full force. I'm going to have to try to scoot up a little bit, get into some shade here while we're doing this. So we're going to take a few steps up. I'm going to disappear out of the camera for a second and move things a few steps back. Hold on one second. I'm not leaving you a promise. We're just trying to reposition ourselves for the sake of not melting out here. So I'm coming back to the screen, Let's see here. I'm almost there. Gonna move that about to right there. Gonna move my light back a little bit. If a man Andre was here, I'd have him helping me do this a little bit more. And I got to move one more thing. I'm going to just zoom out a little bit more on this camera angle. And let's see what we have there. Still a little tight. We'll zoom out just a little bit. And this daddy long legs is really right by the camera, which is kind of cool. All right, so here we go. Continuing on. Super chats are welcome. Donations are welcome. Or just like and subscribe. Help the channel continue to grow. All right. And there's some comments that have been coming. I haven't forgot about you. I just want to go through this, and then we'll get into some comments. And then for some people that are in Spartanburg, I'm going to get to meet you shortly, as I'm going to be attending basically a meet and greet that Panther Nation podcast invited me to and is hosting here in Spartanburg. So hopefully I'll be meeting some of you all there. Let's see, where was I? I'm not sure, so I'm going to backtrack to team. Bryce Young out there with a handoff to Miles Sanders. Bryce Young with another handoff. Bryce Young with a shot he was in a shotgun. Great catch by DJ Chark before going out of bounds. Good release by Bryce as he was under pressure, and I really thought the ball was batted because he looked like he was about to get sacked, even though I know they're not going to sack him while they're not in pads. But he got it out. It just wasn't a tight spiral, but he had it right on the money to Chark. And then we had Bryce with a handoff to Miles Sanders, shotgun handoff to Chuba, shotgun pass. These are Bryce to Tremble on a 20-yard out route. Bryce, very patient on another play, ended up dumping the ball down to Spencer Brown. So that was, again, good to see him just kind of working through, and not being like, oh, let me get this, and just still checking it down when he can. Where was I? So Bryce in the shotgun to Chark over the middle. Seemed like it wasn't a clean play because this was one where I can't tell if it was just timing, if he was just throwing the ball away, if somebody thought that they were going one way and they went to another, but it was nevertheless an incomplete pass. Dalton then comes in, excuse me, and has a complete pass. And then where are we at? Lost my spot. Give me a second. Man, I lost my spot. I'm going to find it. I promise I'm going to find my spot. All right, Dalton with a fake handoff ended up hitting Ian Thomas, short left. Dalton in the shotgun hit C.J. Saunders on a quick slant. Nice timing on that play. So there was quite a few plays today, which the timing, which the motion. I liked it a lot. Play action looked good. And again, I know they're just touching the playbook here, but it was still good to see that. And then we had Dalton with a dump to Miles Sanders down the right, and then in the shotgun, hitting Saunders over the middle. And then after that, this is where the punches were thrown today. And I don't mean like pushing. There were some punches